just about everything is complete, and we're ready to start assembling the components. There's a couple of things obviously that we have to finish off. There's the lock on the front of the book that I haven't touched yet, but I did do one of the brackets on the corner, so that's simply a matter of duplicating them, unless you want each of them to be unique and kind of hand done. Then there's also the spikes on the compass. Again, we're going to duplicate those and rotate them into position. So why don't we do this? Let me go ahead and turn on everything so we can see what we have. And we can now start taking a look at the total product. And everything's looking good. There's obviously some issues with the spikes, but that's to be expected because we raised some areas on the book, and I can obviously move those. That's not a problem. We have the corner here, the corner metal bracket, and I think I'm going to attack that first. So why don't I go ahead and make a duplicate of that particular bracket. So first we need to find it. I believe that's this one. Yep. There's a number of ways of doing this. So because we're producing a sculpt that will later on be retopologized if we're using it for, say, a game asset, I don't have to have the ability to lower this into different divisions. In other words, once I'm sculpted and I'm at this stage, I could pretty much just move forward with locking it in, because in order to use the mirror tool, that's what I have to do. So let me kind of demonstrate that to you and show you a little bit more about how it works. So I already have that tool selected. I'm going to actually turn off the other brackets because I don't need those at this time. They're only going to be distracting. And what I want to do is duplicate that. So I'm going to duplicate that bracket. And the first thing I'm going to do is delete the lower. What that does now is it essentially makes that one object that is a high poly object. And if I go into the deformation panel, I have a mirror command. The mirror allows me to mirror in the X, the Y, if I turn it on, or the Z. So right now, let's just go ahead and mirror in the X and see what the results are. So that put that on the other end of the book. Not necessarily what we want. So I'll Z back. I'm going to mirror on the Y, and that puts our bracket on the back of the book, which is fine. The only thing I do need to do is to move it, and it's best to do that in orthographic, not perspective, because you'll get a much truer representation. Okay. So we have the bracket now on the back of the book. Because that one happens to be collapsed, what I'm going to do now is change to Z and mirror down to the Z. Whoops. But before I do that, I want to duplicate it. So I'll duplicate that asset and mirror. Now I'm at the bottom. Once again, because the book is unique, some of these need to physically be moved. Move that down a little bit, and it looks like we need to move out just a touch. Okay. Alright, so we have that bracket. And one more time, so I'll go ahead and duplicate that bracket. And then this time I want to come to the front, so that will be Y again, and mirror. Move that into position. Make sure it looks good, and done. So we now have brackets on all four corners of the book. And so the last part physically remaining is the lock.